welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on a Tracy Reed Designs design team project for her brand new release, Trailblazer. Information about this new release will be linked below. This is a digital kit and I am a hybrid scrapbooker who prints out the items. So if you're new here, welcome. This is the first design team video I've done since March for Tracy Reed because she took a break from new releases on her personal storefront for April. So there was no new release last month, but we still have plenty of content for you to look at if you head over to her blog and look at all of the beautiful content the design team has been putting up for the last 30 days. You will be inspired. So I have a couple of the Traveler's Notebook solids. I printed all of those. And then I have 2 sheets of the pattern paper and a piece of white cardstock sitting here, plus a 3x4 card. One of the little phrases from the collection, The Florals. This very cool wood grain film stripish frame thing. A couple of boots, cowboy hat, cowgirl hat, whichever you want to say, the clouds, some horseshoes, and another little title bit and some ropes. The flowers, I printed a couple times so that I would have plenty of those to play with. So these are what I'm going to be working with. There's a cute little mushroom there too that was pulled accidentally. I do have an entire tray full of the embellishments cut, and they're kind of sorted here. Not well, but they're sorted so that I can dig through and find stuff. This is a Tidy Boss tray if you're interested in these. It is, I believe, the 8x8 one, and you can get this on Amazon. I really love it. It has, I think, 6 trays and a lid. And I sort out my Tracy Reed ephemera into those. That way I have it handy and I can have 6 collections of hers out at once to play with if I choose. And it keeps me semi-organized. So that is my tip for those of you who are doing printing and cutting with your Cricuts or Silhouettes or whatever digital machine that you have. So I'm going to pause. We're going to get started. I'll be right back. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to use this very old ink spray to put some ink on my white cardstock. I'm going to be using the packaging techniques. This is a piece of random packaging from some product I bought. And if you're new here, you may not have heard me say this before, but if you're not new, you've heard me say this before. The smaller the piece of packaging that you have, the more control you have over the ink. Now, I could have used the whole large piece if I wanted to, but I really just wanted a little bit more control over the ink. One of the things that I noticed as playing with this ink here is it doesn't go down as nicely as the Distress ink. And of course I already knew that, but you know, revisiting it, that is not a Distress ink spray and it didn't go down as nicely as the Distress ink, unfortunately, but it got some color on that background, which is what I was going for. So I cut a 3/4 inch strip off of the striped paper, and then I cut it down to where it was 10 inches long. And now I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off 2 sides of this white background. And then I'm going to gut this floral piece, which just means I create, it would say a frame, but it's not really a frame, but I create a frame out of it, and then I lay my white background on top of it. The gutted piece I will save for another layout, and if you've never gutted a pattern paper before, the easiest way I do it is I stick it in on the 1 inch mark, and then I cut from 1 inch to 11 inch all the way around until I have that 1 inch frame that you see here. I'm going to go ahead and stick down my background knowing that I have that random splotch up there at the top, and that's where I want that to go. I'm gonna put the striped bit here, and I'm kind of just playing around a little bit with placement still. I'm going to be moving that striped border down a couple of times because I want to make sure I have room for everything and space for a title. At this point, I have not printed and cut out the title for this layout. I'm going to be using one of the Digital Kits alphas in green for my title, and it's just going to say hello, and then of course I have a smaller title down there that says this ain't my first rodeo. And these photos were taken of me on the day that I was picking up my husband from yet another deployment. These photos were taken roughly a year ago, and he was in Poland, I think, that trip. We were still in Kentucky at the point. We had not moved to Colorado yet, and I went and picked him up, and he is currently deployed, if you did not know that. And so hopefully in the near future I'll be picking him up again. Maybe I'll wear my boots and hat again. So I've got everything on there where I want it to go, and I've glued down most everything. I printed my title, and see it's the green letters, and I did one of the things that if you're new here, you don't know this either, or you may not know this if you're not new here. When I use a flat title piece that I've cut with my Cameo, I will cut it in 3 and layer it up so that I still get that depth as if I was using a set of thickers. And I do that with all of my cut file titles for the most part. I also cut a ticket piece, and I cut a label for my journaling, and that is all that I have. Alright, I got this layout completely finished. I'm quite happy with the way that this turned out. You saw me do everything on camera except for the gluing process, which I just added a little bit of foam adhesive under some pieces. I'm pointing at that little ticket that I printed out and added as an afterthought because I thought it needed a little something up there in that corner. So I'm glad that I did that. I added a butterfly and a mushroom and another floral element behind my label for my journaling, and that is about all of it. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. If you're new here, it will always be free to subscribe to my channel, so just click that button below. I put out 3 or 4 videos per week, and I would just love to hear from you, so drop a comment down there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Check out that description box below my video. This is a hop for the Trailblazer release, and my fellow design team members are super creative and would love to hear from you as well. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye.